Hey everyone, it's January 14th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share it with Dr. Harold Shipman, an English serial killer best known as Dr. Death, and that is him right up there. Shipman was born in 1946, the second son of a truck driver in Nottingham, England. He had a very close relationship with his mother, who died of cancer when he was just 17. He witnessed how morphine was used to ease her pain, which he would later mimic while becoming one of the world's most prolific serial killers. A bright student, Shipman received a scholarship to attend medical school, graduating in 1970. He was driven to become a doctor after seeing his mother suffer during her last days. He was working as a general practitioner by 1974 and was also a married father of two. All was not right in the world, however, as he found himself in hot water the next year, being caught forging prescriptions for his own personal use. After a short stint in rehab, he was back out and found himself practicing medicine in Manchester in 1977. He worked there throughout the 1980s, opening his own private practice in 1993. He was so well thought of that his expertise was sought by documentarians, appearing on television multiple times. His colleagues considered him to be a very capable, albeit arrogant, doctor. In the late 90s, an undertaker first noted that Shipman's patients had an alarmingly high death rate. They also were almost always found fully clothed and sitting up in their beds. When another doctor raised similar concerns, they went to the coroner, who notified police. An investigation was launched, but Shipman had altered the records of many of his former patients, and thus his murderous behavior went undetected. But when one of his patients was found dead in her home after a house call, her daughter suspected foul play. When a will was discovered giving a substantial sum to Shipman, the daughter was convinced it was a forgery, and the police agreed. The body was exhumed and found to have died of a morphine overdose. His home was raided, where police found jewelry belonging to many of his former patients and a typewriter that had been used to forge the will. At this point, they began to look into the deaths that had occurred under his care and came to the realization that he may have killed hundreds of victims. A trial began in 1999, with prosecutors focusing on 15 recent deaths in which they had been able to obtain sufficient evidence. Shipman claimed that he had helped end the suffering of terminal patients, but none of them had been diagnosed with anything that was likely to kill them. He was convicted of 15 murders in 2000 and was sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Later inquiries pegged the number of victims as between 218 and 236, and that he was addicted to killing. Some think that he may have killed a patient all the way back in 1971 for the first time, and we'll never know just how many were murdered by his hand, because in 2004, he hanged himself in his cell using his bed sheets to form a noose. So I hope you've had a good birthday, and if you know somebody's birthday it is today, let them know who their birthday twin is by sending them this video, and happy birthday, you bastard.